the big game that is going down Saturday in Atlanta. And we'll close it off with this, getting this wrapped up. But big bad Bama, who we can argue how big and bad they are right now, but it's still Alabama. They still got the A on the side, and those guys are still going to show up, and Bryce Young's still a heck of a quarterback, going up against a juggernaut in Georgia. I look at this game, and yes, there's a shot that Bama can win. Let me just put that out there. There is a shot because it is Nick Saban, right? Nick Saban is the master of game planning and getting the best out of his guys. I just think it's Kirby's time. I think what Kirby has built over the last 4 years, I don't know what he got Jordan Davis at as a freshman, but what he's grown Jordan Davis into, I mean, he makes me look small and he runs faster than me. That's one of those things where you're just like, that's not humanly possible. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't believe you. It was like when Shaq went to the NBA in '92. We haven't seen this before. Our goals aren't even strong enough to hold when you dunk with full power. Like we don't even have the right goals right now. Like Jordan Davis's uniform had to have been hand stitched every week, I feel like. But when I look at this Georgia-Bama game, I think that Bama, they're just outmatched. I think it can be close. I think it can be a 10-point game. I think it can be a 10-point loss for Bama. And with what happened in Notre Dame, could they possibly slide in maybe kind of, sort of, if Oklahoma State stubs their toe? Absolutely. I could see them putting a 2-loss Bama team in because you have the precedent. The only problem is if you slide them in at 4, you're going to see the SEC championship game all over again. And do I want to see that, or do I want to just go ahead and put Ohio State, who didn't make it who didn't win their division, who does not go into the championship game, who got embarrassed by Michigan, go into this and we see a repeat, of what we saw from Michigan the last time they played, a week ago. So that's my only concern is because of Notre Dame, it really screws things up. It really makes it a tough decision.
I mean, we as college football fans need to root for Oklahoma State to win, and then it not be a factor. It comes down between Oklahoma State and a one-loss Notre Dame, and I think they're going to pick Oklahoma State partly because of Brian Kelly's decision. But I think that makes everything, it cleans everything up a bit.
Yeah.
If Oklahoma State loses and Alabama loses and Ohio State's already sitting there with 2 losses, now you got a traffic jam at 5 trying to get to 4. We'll see what they do. As far as the game goes, man, look, to hell with Kirby, to hell with Saban. This is about the games I've watched. I mean, this is about the eye test. This is about the eye test for me. Georgia started the season and were dominant from jump, and they've gotten better. They've committed to Stetson Bennett as their starter. Stetson Bennett's gotten better. His targets around him have gotten better. I'm not talking about the run game. I'm talking about the ability to toss it around the park. I'm talking about his ability to move the chains with his feet. They've consistently gotten better. Every time I turn the Georgia film on, I watch a dominant football team that is very convincing. Every time I turn Alabama on, no matter who it's against, I watch a team that's very vulnerable, that's winning by the skin of their teeth, that hasn't had the ability to separate the way Saban teams have been able to separate in the past. And the last taste in my mouth is Alabama versus Auburn. And I watched an Alabama football team get absolutely dominated in a way that we haven't seen in a long, long time. In fact, it's funny. It's funny how average dudes look. It's funny how average dudes look when all of a sudden their right tackle can't block that defensive end. When all of a sudden, Jamison Williams or whatever his name is, the receiver, he goes out and you don't have 4 first-round wide receivers running around and a first-round tight end and a first-round running back behind you. You don't have all that. It's pretty interesting the way that all of a sudden dude looks average. Now, he came out of his shell. The offensive line gave him a little bit of time. He spun it around the park, and they were able to win that ball game. However, Georgia ain't Auburn, partner.
No, sir.
Georgia ain't Auburn.
Nope.
They're going to line up, and they're going to be able to pressure you the same way that Auburn pressured you, and they're going to do it for 4 quarters. They're not going to do it for 3 quarters and 3 quarters of the 4th quarter and then let you slide back. They're gonna keep the dogs on, and I just believe that the eye test to me tells me this ain't even going to be a game.
Yeah,
it ain't going to be a game. Georgia's going to run away with this thing. I don't know if Alabama. I don't know if they can score points against Georgia. I mean, they can score. I think they'll score points. I just don't think that. Like, I watched, they scored 3 points in all but a minute and a half of that game versus Auburn the other day.
Yeah,
Max, I don't know if they can go out there and score 21 against Georgia.
Well, and look at LSU. Look at that LSU game.
Scored 20.
Yeah, exactly. And they struggled to get to 20.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, to score 3 touchdowns, I don't see that happening. Georgia is not giving that up.
Yeah.
Hey, and like you said, listen, the way that Auburn pressure, but they can get there with 4. They don't have to blitz. They don't have to dog. Their 4D linemen will be passing breath mints to Bryce Young. Hey,
here you go, young
boom,
fella.
right in your mouth. Boom, right in your mouth, because that's where I'm at every time.
Yeah. And Alabama's banged up. I mean, look, the way Auburn made Evan, what is their what's their right tackle's name? Evan Neal? Is that?
Yeah, Neal.
Yeah, Evan Neal. The way that Auburn made him look, really the whole offensive line looked bad all night long for Alabama, but we'll center in on their best player, and he struggled mightily. And it only gets worse from there. Man, I just don't see how Alabama scores enough points to win this ball game. And I think Georgia treats him just like they've treated everybody else. It may be a touchdown game in the first half, but down the stretch, they stretch this thing out and it's game over.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you. I think this is the beating that people have been waiting to see by Alabama for like the last decade. They've been waiting for one of these, and I think they're going to get it Saturday night. I think they're going to, or Saturday afternoon. They're going to get their wish. And Kirby and company, long overdue. And trust me, as a full-blooded Gator that hates everything dog, I tell you what, I'm going to be rooting for them in this game, because I would rather see them than to see Bama get by on their laurels and get on their history. I want to see something fresh, dominating. Georgia got close a couple years ago, and it was a hell of a championship game. But now it's time for Georgia to step into the spotlight and bring some prestige and bring it back over to the east side, because the light's been shining in the west for a long time. So I'm with you on that one. I think this is going to be a great championship weekend.